Provincializing Europe by Deebesh Chakrabarty was first published in the year 2000. The book highlights the limitations of Western social science in explaining the historical experience of political modernity in South Asia. He is critical of the Enlightenment concepts of universal human experience and of secular modernity. Chakrabarty pluralizes the history of global political modernity. The book proposes that every case of transition to capitalism is a case of translation as well, a translation of existing worlds and their thought. The book brings two important representatives of European thought, Marx and Heidegger, into some kind of conversation with each other in the context of South Asian political modernity. Marx is critical for the enterprise as his category capital gives us a way of thinking about both history and the secular figure of the human on a global scale. It also makes history into a critical tool for understanding the globe that capitalism produces. The first part of the book, chapters 1 to 4, is organized under the sign of Marx. He names this part Historicism and the Narration of Modernity. These chapters present critical reflections on historicist ideas of history and historical time and their relationship to narratives of capitalist modernity in colonial India. His critique of historicism insists that historical debates about transition to capitalism as a translational process. Chapter 1 reproduces a programmatic statement about provincializing Europe. Chakrabarty considers Chapter 2 as pivotal. He shows that addressing the problem of historicism through Marx pushes us toward a double position. On the one hand, we acknowledge the importance of the figure of the abstract human in Marx's categories as a legacy of Enlightenment thought. This figure is significant to Marx's critique of capital. On the other hand, this abstract human blocks the questions of belonging and diversity. Therefore, he seeks to destabilize this abstract figure of the universal human with ideas of human belonging and historical difference. The other chapters revolve around the question of how one might try to open up the Marxist narratives of capitalist modernity to issues of historical difference with concrete examples. The second part of the book he calls Histories of Belonging is organized under the sign of Heidegger. It presents some historical explorations of themes in the modernity of literate upper caste Hindu Bengalis. The themes could be considered universal to structures of political modernity. The idea of the citizen subject, imagination as a category of analysis, ideas regarding civil society, patriarchal fraternities, public-private distinctions, secular reason, historical time, and so on. He tries to demonstrate concretely how the categories and strategies we have learned from European thought are both indispensable and inadequate in representing this particular case of non-European modernity.